Today I'll be going over a little mini, I guess you could say, clip of a part of the podcast, the Chase Down podcast, the Cavs podcast ran by Cavs Anida and Carter Shade. Cavs Anida is also Justin Rowan. And yeah, I basically asked them a question and they answered and to talk about their perspective. And Carter Shade was nice enough to give me the thumbs up to be able to talk about this, and use this as use it for a video. So yeah, I want to basically go over what they talked about and in terms of my question. And yeah, I just want to give my feedback to what they were saying. But yeah, let's check it out.
Some you lose some. Related to this, actually, Empire Reacts asks, who's the most improved player on the team this season? This is a bit of a tricky one, and I'm going to remove Donovan Mitchell from.
So yeah, when I was asking this question, I was honestly expecting something for some Isaac Okoro, like big Isaac Okoro fans like I am, like I don't know. Every single time I see like Isaac Okoro hit a corner three, I mean it's become more normal. But like when like he was going through his little slumps and stuff like that, and like it was kind of hard for him. Like every single time, like any single time he has a highlight, like I get really really excited. But yeah, and I was also not I was not thinking Donovan Mitchell either, which they took him out of the equation. But as you can see, like Donovan Mitchell has had his like best season of his career while playing with the Cavs. And I mean Jarrett Allen has kind of stayed the same. So I was either going with Evan Mobley or Isaac Okoro in terms of like stats increasing and stuff like that. But who their answer is makes sense too.
From this, because like I said, I don't think you can necessarily attribute. Obviously, some credit goes to the Cavs, and I think DG, Allen, Mobley, having those guys to play with really helps them. But I'm going to take Donovan Mitchell out of this to make it an even more interesting question. Who's your answer, Carter?
I think it's Darius. Did I steal your answer?
You took my answer.
Well, you shouldn't have given it to me first.
And when I heard that, I was kind of like, because I was thinking about like in terms of counting stats and stuff like that. I was like, I mean, he's kind of the same, but their explanation makes a lot of sense. So yeah, we'll just listen to it.
First, but I will respectfully hand it right back. Give me your Darius case.
I think him making the adjustment as seamlessly as he did, and not only making the adjustment to playing with Donovan Mitchell, but missing so much of the start of the regular season, and then coming into that Boston game, his first game, really full game, with the Cavs, high-pressure environment, and just tearing it up. The fact that he's having the best season of his career with everything that's gone wrong, with the eye, with the sprain on his thumb on his shooting hand, playing with another high-usage guy in Donovan Mitchell, I think that he's really shown impressive growth, and it shows up in the reduction.
Yeah. So I kind of cut him off in like middle of what he was talking about, but yeah, basically his whole thing about how he has been able to seamlessly fit with a guy like Donovan Mitchell, as he said, who has high usage rate, a high volume scorer, and like high volume shooter. Like the fact he's been able to stay and keep his role and stuff like that, like still stay as a leader, shows like a lot of improvement just in like the as a player and in general, not even just stats wise, but just like being a leader, which that type of stuff happens. And also you can kind of see like a sense of maturity with Garland, like his like he is only like, what is he, like 20 something, I think 22, maybe 23, and yeah, like the fact he's able to mature at this young of an age, obviously you could always grow and mature, but I feel like for his age he's very very mature for being a point guard in the league, and having such a high responsibility, being on a like a playoff-esque team, and still control it and like keep everything in place as a young point guard. I definitely have been liking how Garland has been able to handle it. And yeah, his whole case of his being able to keep the same counting stats as last year, in terms of like his stats haven't really changed at all. And yeah, I mean, he's like the same player from last year stats wise, but in terms of like the little things, he's definitely improved a lot.
Reduction in turnovers. He's taking such good care of the basketball compared to last year. It shows up in the fact that his defensive metrics, every single catch-all metric, every defensive metric there is, it has shown that he's grown and he's improved. And some of that was already there last year, that he was kind of a break-even.
And that's also another impressive thing for Garland being such a small guard. Like he's what 6'2", 6'1". So like trying to obviously he's not gonna be able to like guard like a Marcus Smart, like a Drew Holiday, because of just how small he is. But he never gives up defensively. Like he's kind of like a little pest. Like he tries to get in your face. He tries to mess with you, and like he doesn't give up anything easy. Like he doesn't let his size get in the way of his play and his defense, and it's actually really good to see. And I mean, he's, as you just said, like his stats have shown that he's been getting better as a defender, which kind of goes to help the whole defensive mindset that the Cavs run, like defense first or defense to the offense. And I've been very happy to see how he's been doing on that end, because he's in this passing lanes a lot, getting steals, and just being you gotta be careful when you're passing the ball around and stuff like that, because he will steal the ball.
Even defender, but he's really turned into a solid positional defender, someone that goes out and gets steals, that he's kind of really made the commitment that I'm not going to be the breakdown in the defense. And of course, if there's going to be a switch and he's on a big 6'6", 6'8" player, he's going to be at a size disadvantage, but he's not falling asleep off ball. He's not losing shooters routinely, and the type of team breakdowns that really hurt your defense overall. I just think it's the most well-rounded season I've seen from him, and something that wouldn't be necessarily evident just looking at the box score stats.
Yeah, I think ultimately it's a few things. It's the fact that he's so seamlessly coexisted with Donovan Mitchell, without and really in a lot of ways maintained his grip as the true floor general for this team. It's the fact that the shooting efficiency has stayed super, super high. And I feel like he's just in even more control of the offense, as we said.
Yeah, to go back to what Carter's talking about, when he said about the efficiency from three, like it was against those Raptors. I mean, they were winning the whole game, so I mean, like it doesn't really show a whole lot because it wasn't like a very like close game at all. But I mean, it's not a very serious game when you literally see Garland dunking and stuff like that, which is just funny to see. Like he's just so random with what. Anyways, but yeah, like the fact that Evan Mobley shot more threes than him. That game, I think he only took like 2 or 4. Like when he shakes threes, he hits them. Like he's very, very efficient at hitting. Like I think he's ranked. I think I saw a stat that he's ranked like second in the league on catch and shoot threes, and like he's very, very good at shooting. He just doesn't do it at a high volume, which I feel like has kind of been weird. Like I feel like he's like I thought he used to. I feel like he was a lot more high volume in terms of shooting threes, but he definitely like slows it down a lot more. I guess that can kind of go for like the reason why the Cavs are like one of the slowest paces in the league, because Garland likes to take his time, and like I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but he likes to take his time and he likes to get good shots, not force shots. But yeah, I like to see Garland try attempting a couple more threes a game. Like he's kind of like, I feel like he's at like 3 or 4 maybe a game. So if he gets to like 5 or 6, I would be fine with that too. But yeah, this is just a little something I was thinking.
He was having 7-8 turnover games. Like, not all the time, but relatively frequently last year. Games where you just were like, what are you doing, man? Like, this offense cannot afford to have this level of, they did not have that kind of margin for error for him to be messing up the way he was messing up in some of those games. And part of that is all the focus of the defense. I'm sure it's nice having Donovan out there. People are probably a little less likely to help off of him. But, I just think he's done everything with the opportunity, and become a true volume scorer on a lot of nights. And, really, I feel like if last year was what we thought was him shedding his reluctance to shoot, this year is really him doing so. The fact that his volume has stayed as high as it is, despite having a very ready-made excuse to have his volume drop back off and go back to, just I'll pass every time I get a chance, Darius, shows a matured understanding of the game. And the fact that he knows that, hey, sometimes a 6 out of 10 shot for me, because I'm so freaking good, is better than an 8 out of 10 shot that I might be able to generate for someone else.
Yeah, and
that is true. In terms of volume shooting, I was talking about his threes, the volume of his three shot. But when talking about he does go for a lot of layups or shots at the rim or floaters or little mid ranges stuff like that. So he does also shoot a high volume. There's not many games he takes. I don't know if there actually has been a game where he's take less than 10 shots a game, or he averages probably 12, 13 shots a game or something like that. Not against that at all. I'm very happy to see that he can stay consistent with the volume like they were talking about, instead of shedding his skin. He's playing how he's supposed to play, and that's all you can really ask for.
If the thumb is fully healed after this break and this time off, I would like to see the 3-point volume get back up, because I think that was something he did a better job earlier in the season. Obviously, there was a valid explanation there with the injury that he had. And it's a credit to him that even when he does kind of go through these stretches where he's not 100% healthy, he still really finds ways to be effective, right? Like Philadelphia, not really taking a lot of threes, but getting to the rim against a very good defensive team with a lot of length. And I just think that shows kind of the growth and maturity in his game. But you're right. He completely still has the grips on the offense. It's his show. It's his offense to run, and I just think he's done a terrific job of that.
Absolutely. Honorable mention, I think, has to go to Evan Mobley over the last couple months on the offensive side of the ball. He has really, really taken a leap. But on the aggregate, I think I would give the nod to Darius. However, let's keep
Evans. Evan's been so impressive, man. But you go ahead, read the next question.
Yeah, our dear friend,
All right. So that's the end of their little segment on the question I asked them. Again, I agree with everything we're talking about, and how Justin brought up at the end there about his volume shooting, which I was talking volume 3, 3-point shots and stuff like that. So yeah, and also honorable mention, of course, Mobley. Mobley has done nothing but take steady ups. There's a lot more times where he's at the top of the key. He dribbles and blows by defenders and does spin moves and dunks, and he's definitely getting a lot more I don't know. It's kind of he can create his own way to the paint and stuff like that. So, and he's only in his second year, so I cannot wait to see what he looks like in his prime. But yeah, thanks again to Justin and Carter, and comment down below what you guys think, who you guys would believe is the most improved player for the Cavs season. And hope you guys enjoy. If you did, please remember to drop a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.